What up, TikTok? Hey, hope everybody's having a great Friday. Hey, don't let anything that's negative in your life dictate the rest of your life. Does that make sense? Hey, we all go through some hard times. We all go through some emotional stressors, maybe at work, maybe at home, whatever it may be. Don't let that dictate who you are and how you react to the rest of the things that life throws at you. Does that make sense? Like if you're feeling pissed off and angry all morning or all day, you're going to take that energy and you're going to present it to everybody else that surrounds you, your loved ones, your soldiers, whoever it may be. You're going to use that negative energy and it's just going to make everything worse. Try to be positive. Pick something positive in life that's going really well. Use that positive energy and let that dictate the rest of your day. We can harp on the negatives. We can harp on the bad things that are going on in life. It's not going to help us. It's not going to help us move forward. Stay strong, keep pushing, drive on. Happy Friday.
What's up, Trash Talkers? Hitting you up this morning with a special promo on how to dress when you are doing PT in civilians, but you want everybody to know you're an Army. This comes from the Buddy Beckwith fashion design of how to work out. So first, you can notice the RI panties. Not Ranger panties, but Ranger instructor panties. The green socks, the knee brace for the old guys. Don't forget the M frames. Now the shirt, don't wear the Trash Talk shirt while you're running. This is just for the promo. You want to put on like an 80-second shirt or like your favorite airborne shirt so everybody knows that you're a veteran. That's the most important thing. And you start with this stretch. Buddy Beckwith taught me this one. Ready to go.
So, I'm walking out of the gas station and my co-worker, who's an old MP, but we still claim him, and has engaged the man in conversation. Not much for conversation with strangers, but he's got the tab. So, as I walk by, I say airborne, and the man responds with, and I quote, "Hoorah." So, after I instructed my co-worker to slash every single tire before he put the car in gear, I looked for the biggest rock. As I crow hop to throw it through his back window so he can stop posing as one of us, I actually wake up and realize that the man's ignorance had incapacitated me for a moment, and I was daydreaming. I mean, because in that moment you got two options. I chose the third option and said, "Incorrect. That's an incorrect response." And I kept walking. The man said nothing and he pulled away. So you tell me, what is it, a stolen valor thing? No Marine's gonna have an airborne tab, and no paratrooper's gonna say hidden hoorah. So you tell me, stolen valor?
Hey, y'all, I'm going to work. I left you a note on the refrigerator. I love y'all. I'm gonna go.
Hey, go get dressed. Get ready for school.
You're doing great. I was tooling around, tooling along. Shit! Bad guy! Stop!
Let me break it down Barney style.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, Joe, and Buddy. Real warriors making fun of other real warriors. Try to not get triggered.
Today's show is brought to you by the Farkas Group at the Veterans Mortgage Source. Are you looking for a team you can trust for your mortgage needs? The Farkas Group is our trusted partner on the podcast. I serve with Zach, and he will definitely give you the best rate possible. Their goal is to educate veterans across the country on their earned VA home loan benefit. If you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, reach out to these guys for competitive rates or any information you may need on obtaining a VA mortgage for your property. They are licensed in multiple states. If they are not licensed in the state that you live in, they will still give you the advice that you need and the rates you should be looking for.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 90. Shit, man. That's a lot of episodes. Yeah. Shout out to our sponsor, Zach Farkas with the Veterans Mortgage Source. You can check him out at Zach Farkas at bmsloans.com. 10th Mountain Whiskey. Check them out at 10thwhiskey.com. Type in VTT and get a discount. Special guest today is Mike from Ariel Resupply Coffee, another vet who sells coffee and probably shirts as well. And as always, I'm joined by Nick, Buddy, and Joe. Shocking, right? Yeah. So today's dumpster fire, we're going to kick off with the Bermuda Triangle. Anybody know? You know, I'm assuming everybody's watching.
I don't know why we're having this talk.
Yeah, the Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle. Okay, it's located southeastern coast of the U.S. in the North Atlantic Ocean. Okay, over the last 150 years, you got about 50 ships that have just mysteriously disappeared there. Okay, and around 20 planes as well. Recent one was, I think, around 2020. It was in January. Plane went out there. There were 8 passengers aboard, and it just disappeared. It was gone. You have other individuals who have flown there and have been there with their ships where, you know, their GPS just goes crazy. You had a flight that was flying from Florida to, I think it was like Puerto Rico or something, and they got caught up in this cloud, supposedly, and all their electronics went out. And then when they got out of the cloud, they had actually traveled, you know, way faster than they would have if they wouldn't have gotten into that cloud. So all kinds of crazy shit. They say there's a lot of UFOs out there, underwater monsters, sea monsters, whatever. Ginormous octopus. I don't know. Like, who the fuck knows? You know, who the fuck knows? But obviously,
the Bermuda Triangle is basically the Jumanji of the planet.
Buddy was stationed in the Bermuda Triangle.
Buddy, we'll let you go first. So my take is, I don't know, maybe a portal to another dimension.
Everybody knows.
Maybe knows just crazy storms. But I mean, it is an area where a lot of ships have just disappeared and they've never found them. And planes just like gone. So. I don't know. Maybe people are getting abducted by the aliens, you know, and getting probed and all kinds of crazy shit.
No,
who knows?
Everybody knows.
But buddy, since you're already, you know, talking over me, we'll give the floor to you. What is your?
Oh, you've already said too much, Dave. You're the face man.
You already.
You've done your job now. Sit there and look pretty.
Fuck up, Dave.
Shut up.
Sit there and look pretty.
So I don't understand.
Check out this shirt, by the way.
It's not a conspiracy. It's already set. We already know what's going on in the Bermuda Triangle. Everybody knows it's a dimension. It's a dimensional wormhole. You go into it. If conditions are right, beep boop. You're off like they're off like freaking what's it, Morty and whatever, just fucking off hanging out. In different
Nobody
dimensions.
knows what you're talking about right now.
Morgan Mindy.
I don't know what you're saying, buddy.
You doing this?
Like
Nanu.
Rick and Morty with the
brick and mortar. Are you building something?
Rick. Anywho,
yeah.
Everybody knows it's a dimensional wormhole. Everyone knows that.
Okay, so where are they going? Like, where are they going?
Other dimensions. Like,
okay,
we're like living in parallel dimensions all over.
Like where the Undertaker's from. Parts unknown.
Okay, look.
This is logic.
You are here. Let's go. You're here. This is the Bermuda Triangle.
That's a square.
There's a.
There you go.
You hit the wormhole, and then you're out, and then you're in another dimension that's way over here. That's how that works. Everybody knows.
Interesting take. Wormholes, dimensions. Okay. All right, buddy. That was good. That was good.
Boom.
Right.
It's not good. It's science. It's
science.
proven.
Trust the
That's
science.
it.
Trust
That
the
is
science.
Fair enough.
Everybody
so no
knows that.
aliens, no aliens, no UFOs.
I mean, conceivably, you go see aliens in other dimensions. But
yeah,
you're the alien at that point.
Perfect. Joe, what say you?
Hold on.
I believe that.
Wait a
But
second.
you still going? All right.
I had an epiphany moment.
The dumpster fire has commenced.
You go through the wormhole. You
But
pop
he's
out
just
another
getting warmed up.
dimension. Hold on. You pop out another dimension. You like upgrade your ship. Beep, boop,
He
beep,
had
boop,
another
right?
epiphany.
And then, bam, you come back through the wormhole, and then you are the alien. So you're the alien, then you're the alien again.
Oh,
So
yes.
Real quick, the chat,
Just
Joshua
coming back.
Penny, buddy, Joshua
Sorry,
Penny
well.
is asking you, is that where you got your shirt from another dimension?
Yes.
The
from
shirt that you're
wormhole.
wearing.
Oh,
America.
Yeah.
it hurts because it's true.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Joe, what do you got?
I think the Kraken lives there.
Yes.
Yeah, from the
in that area. Yeah.
I believe that the Kraken is there.
I thought the Kraken was a red block.
I don't know what that is.
It was a huge squid.
I'm like Farva at
From
the
the movie
window
Lego.
in Super Troopers. I don't know what that is.
From the Lego movie.
But yeah, I think the Kraken's there from the whiskey commercials.
Oh, the crack. Okay, yeah.
The Jameson, the Kraken from the Jameson. Yeah, well, yeah, but he's also in. He made an appearance in the Jameson.
You see, this is how the portal works. Like,
and
it starts
he's
fucking
underwater
with you when you're trying to talk. Like, now you just start talking about. The
What if we just
Kraken
like
now.
disappear?
Crab
live, dude.
Crab boat. He just curls it in.
The Kraken
Plane
became
snatches
became whiskey.
The Kraken must be fed, and if you cross into his airspace, he's like Matumbo. Look at Nick Matumbo.
Kevin in the chat says the methane
There it
bubbles
is.
or whatever, all that shit that's created at the bottom, and then it just pops up and takes these ships away. But
Okay.
what
thank
about the
you
fucking
for
planes?
making
What
your
about the fucking
conversation
planes?
all realistic and
Hey,
scientific.
Geong
I
Park
still
on
believe the Kraken's there.
Hey, Geong Park on Gruntwork says other dimensions with trusting science. You guys made me laugh so hard. Well, yeah, science says that other dimensions happen because Fauci said it. Okay, so boom.
All right, so Joe says the Kraken. Buddy says other dimensions. What
Other
say you,
dimensions.
Nick?
All right, let's bring some seriousness into this. Let's bring some logic. All right. Now, if you think about it, like if you actually try to think about
Sounds fun.
you just when somebody gets into a car accident in Arizona, like where Dave's from, right? Is it some kind of conspiracy, or is it just a fucking car accident? All right, we don't think like, well, man, like there must be something wrong with Highway 10. No, it's just where everybody goes. All right. And that's where the car accidents happen. All right. So they're obviously flying through there. So they crash. Now here's where the conspiracy and the, what's going on there is I truly believe that with like what kind of going with what Buddy said is that's how you become an alien.
That's your rite of passage or whatever.
Yes.
That's how
you fly there. And so you think about it, it's mostly Navy pilots and stuff like that get in trouble. All right. Because the Coast Guard's already dispelled all the rumors. But these guys, they got rejected by NASA. Right? so they're not allowed to go to NASA. So they fly to the Bermuda Triangle. They turn off their correspondence, right? They do all this, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're in space. Yeah, because they're an alien. Right? Corresponder. Right? Did I say that right? Yeah,
correspondence is how you get through Ranger School. That's how I got it.
I thought that was suppressive fire. So
okay. Failed NASA students. Aviators.
Yes. People that didn't get accepted for NASA, that's their portal to go into
Here's your free ride to space.
Yes. Yeah.
I will
say that's a new one, Nick. That's a new one.
Excuse me, transponder.
I haven't heard that one yet.
I've been drinking 10th Mountain Bourbon.
That's good.
Forgive me.
That's a good one. Okay, Mike, what's your take?
Well, I mean, I'll probably go with a little bit of realism, a little bit of craziness in that it's pretty much the holding ground for the CIA to take on these ships and use them as a black fleet and use those things to shelter and move people back and forth to Guantanamo Bay because we never know how it's done.
Deep state, baby. Deep state.
Damn.
Hey, Mike, thanks for getting our show kicked off.
That was good. I like that.
We're about to blow the lid off the whole. I'll put the system on trial.
Thanks, Mike. You're awesome.
Yeah.
That was good, Mike. I like that. All right. Well, there we have it.
All right. Well, I don't know.
The Ribby habeas corpus.
I don't know if Chris, we got to give a big shout out to Chris, Muffin Fingers back there, the fake Asian. We're supposed to have a text to donate up on the screen today. We're going to give it a shot. Those of you who aren't tracking what VTT is helping out the Ultimate Sacrifice Foundation with is there's a pedal bike ride. We thought it was a motorcycle ride because that made sense.
You would think that it would be a motorcycle ride.
But the dude's gonna ride a pedal bike, all right, from Boston to San Diego. So he's gonna touch the Atlantic and then touch the Pacific. Buddy and I are going to be there. All right. We're going to MC. Buddy's going to be in Boston. Then we're going to link up in Illinois, Golden, Colorado, and Coronado, California. And we're going to MC the whole event and bring it to you live on Veteran Trash Talk, Gruntworks, YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff to try to raise money for Gold Star families. So I don't know if Chris is able to get it up there. He said it was. So we'll see if that gets up there. But if that works, give it a shot. And as I'm asking Gruntworks and Veteran Trash Talk, if y'all just donate $1, all right, just donate $1, okay, then this thing gets kicked off, and it's text Warrior to 801-801. So we'll put that in the chat thread, but hopefully we can get it up on the screen so we can test it. So now Chris is scrambling because he was probably baking a cake at this time,
or some muffin.
It was
or some muffins.
Checking the muffins.
Maybe it's a muffin.
And now he has to get back.
He has to clean his muffin fingers too after licking them,
Yeah. So yeah. I appreciate all of you watching on Gruntworks YouTube and Veteran Trash Talk and all that awesome stuff. I'm the Big Earl. Everybody knows that. Right. So, but we're not here to talk about me. All right. We're here to talk about Mike. All right. We're here to talk about Mike and what he's doing. All right. But before we get into that, just a little recap for those of you who are watching for the first time, that we built a community during COVID, right? That was designed to alleviate the stresses and pressures of not having pain management, physical therapy available, behavioral health available, because for some reason, if you went to go see a shrink about your anger management issues, you die from COVID. All right. Like we just got to shut it all down. Right. So like we did, that was the whole startup of this kind of thing, was that, like, hey, let's build a platform to where we can chat together. And it's done very well. We appreciate everybody in the community that's been a part of it. And we keep trying to say is get out of that linear language mindset of you have the one answer for everybody else, because you don't. You don't have the one answer for everybody. And like I said in one of my ads, and it kind of sounded bad when I re-listened to it, that like you might be useless for 2 years on our page, right? Like I should have said you might be silent on our page for 2 years. You're not useless, right? But there's going to be a point in time where on the page somebody says something and you're going to have the answer. All right, you are going to be able to help somebody. So please continue to post and help out on the page with the group. All right, we don't ever ask you for money. All right, we sell shirts. Cool, buy one if you want. Don't yell at us for not donating to the Ukraine. Right? Don't spend $30 on a shirt. Just send $30 to the fucking president of Ukraine. All right,
or buy this awesome tee right
here. Like it
free speech extremist. Just saying.
That doesn't matter.
Plug.
But
Joe.
So what's up with Joe?
I thought it was Joe's turn. My bad.
It is, but I was just getting into that. That's what we're doing. All right. So Joe's going into it, and then I get to introduce Mike. So Joe, what we got today?
Oh man, I'll be quick, because as I was telling Dave, I said, really these soapboxes, I can't do them like from the heart while reading them. You know what I mean? And sometimes you just got to go with what it was that kind of got you that week. And dude, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, and Buddy can contribute to this conversation. And I know Dave can as well, even though he's got it locked in a little better than where I'm at, but it's still the custody thing, man. And I want to preach to the veterans out there that are going through divorce or going through some kind of custody issues, and let them know through what I'm dealing with, that, man, this system is set up for you to make an ass of yourself one time and be labeled for the rest of your life, and the system's set up for you to fail. And I'm not saying that as a chauvinist, that it's but if you walk into court with an equal playing field with the mother, mom wins. Buddy knows that, Dave knows that, I know that. And if you don't have an equal partner that wants to let you be a father to your kid, there's a way of alienating that I can see some younger veterans. I'm 42 years old, man, and I'm glad I'm going through this now, because at 26, I might not have handled myself so well. And that's the guys I'm talking to. Man, all you got to do is snap one time. They put it on paper, and they'll talk about it every single time you go into court. And you gotta remember, man, you gotta play that tape out. If you're gonna show out and make a statement, say something drastic in Texas or Texas, there's records for everything. And before you do that, before you throw that punch, you got to play the tape and ask yourself, is it worth this heartache I'm going through not seeing my kid? Because this is only going to exacerbate it. So my message, and I'll keep this short because I want to get to Mike, my message is keep your head, because the system is set up for you to fail. You've got to be perfect. And if you don't want to do it for the ex, because most people don't, and I completely empathize with them, do it for your kid. And don't live with any regrets when your kid's 14, 15, 16 years old for years that you lost because you couldn't hold your temper. All right. I'm not perfect, and I'm guilty of doing it before, and it's cost me. And like one of my favorite movies of all time, and Nick's favorite movies, I'm giving you a playbook put together off my own beats because I don't want to see it happen to you. And that is it. You know, it's just, it's coming to me, or coming from me to another veteran who I see going through this. Dude, all you got to do is fuck up once. And that's who you are when you go to court. And are you willing to trade years of your kid's life for it to get your point across? You know, so just think before you speak, man, because you're playing with some pretty high stakes currency.
That's for you, Nick.
Coveted and very
Reading the
important
script
to you. So
you're right though, man.
You know, that's all that's all I got, man, because it's a daily, it takes daily work, you know, and I've got to do it the right way to eventually legally have the right to say, hey, you know, this is what the judge said, this is what, and if I act an ass, you know, the judge isn't gonna, he's not gonna see it my way. So if you go to court, every single thing you've done, it's on record. You know, remember those things. And if you want to get in your kid's life and you don't have someone that's playing ball with you on the other side, then fight the legal way, the right way, and use your brain before that little devil on your shoulder costs you years with your kids. And that's it, brother. That's all I got today.
Hey, Joe, the chat is blowing up, and they're like, right on, brother. Good message, you know, and it is. But what triggers me the most when these two parties, whether it's, you know, husband and wife, they're arguing, they're fighting because they want to be vindictive versus each other and get after each other. Like, just worry about the fucking kids.
Who's picking up the check?
Like, who's suffering from all this shit? Like, you know who's here right now in Arizona visiting? My ex-wife. She is in this house.
Right. Like
I have it a little bit better, I guess, than most, but
nicely.
Like,
it's not always that peaceful, brother, but
I know it isn't.
I'm glad you
but
are.
like, if you keep the kids in mind, then you need to put your bullshit aside, because that's who's fucking important, is your kids. And if you can put that bullshit aside, then you're going to turn those kids into much better people. You know, go
Buddy's
ahead,
raising
buddy.
his hand. Buddy's raising his hand.
It just blows my mind, man.
No, but hey, just before Buddy talks again, like I was buying time
shit
for Chris to get the text to donate thing up there. That's what I was doing earlier. But yeah, Joe, spot on with that. And but go ahead, Buddy.
So yeah, as far as thanks for ruining the flow there, Nick. I appreciate it. It's a great job.
We got stuff to do. We got stuff to do.
Yeah. As far as what you're coming to, you know, and you're talking about like farther into it, but for me, the thing that made all the difference in my divorce, custody, all of that stuff, was early on, like as soon as it happening.
That's when the biggest mistakes and the best decisions get made. It's right there.
And for the people that we're talking to that are, you know, the 26, 25, you know, 30-year-old that might be going through it, this is what worked for me. Might not work for you. It's what worked for me. I decided very early on that the way that I was going to take the higher ground, that my goal was to be the best ex-husband, like to get mugs that said best ex-husband ever, to like be the best freaking co-parent that there could be, that, like, to be supportive of my ex-wife even though we didn't get along. And then every time that we'd come to friction points that were super bad, like I just kind of went back to that base and then went, okay, like instead of being fucking livid, because there were definitely times where I could have lost my shit and been 100% right in losing my shit. But instead
And what's
of
the result
losing
though?
my shit,
Yep.
yeah, nobody wins if you do that. But if you go back to that base where you're like, what would the best ex-husband do? What would the best fucking, like, I want for your new husband to look at me and be like, fuck, man, like, shit. If that guy can't fucking stay with her, then fucking I'm fucked. You know what I mean?
That or you just had a little wiener. But
that's true also. It's very small. Like, it's too tiny to the point that, like, I can't even, it's hard to keep. It just basically rolls off of everything else and then falls into
Nick comes through with the
at some
freaking
point.
Sorry to ruin the flow again.
Right.
And then, buddy, I mean, you have custody over your kids too, right? Both. Like,
yeah, I had both of them. I have my son now. I had both.
Yeah.
And then there, you know, and that's another thing, Nick or Joe.
Just driving it
there
home.
has to be a time where, you know, like, for instance, like with my daughter, there came a time where I had to really think about, like, my priorities and her priorities and what the goal was. The goal was to have a daughter that at some point is a well-rounded human, right?
Yep.
And is successful in what she wants to do. It's not a fucking competition for me to have custody and win.
Oh,
right?
brother,
It's a competition to have the best kid. It doesn't matter if that
how can we
kid is-
develop this child together?
Right?
I'm on the same page with you, brother. It's if you're not on, if the other side is not willing to participate in that mindset, that is what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Is when it's time for you to say, okay, is the legal route the best route? All right, I don't want to take it, but I have to. And I'm telling you,
at
that's
some
the
point
point
you
that
do.
I'm at. And when I tell you guys these stories, I mean, I can recite them like this because it just happened. This is actually going on. That's the fight that I'm in now. Is that I need to get a judge to just say, hey, look, this is what he's going to pay, and this is his rights, and you're both signing on it right now. I can't contact her anymore. And so for the guys out there that don't have an ex-wife like Buddy and Dave do, who seem like very peaceful, well-rounded, and grounded individuals, for the guys that aren't dealing with those kind of people, and if your kid's best interest is the legal route, then you've got to fight the right way.
So what we learned from this was don't marry an Amy.
Divorce. Always divorce an Amy, and Amy is a good person to divorce because they're mentally they have the ability to not be.
Dave, did you want Amy to comment on that? No,
she just walked by, but no, it's just, again, Joe, you know, it's like the kids need to be the first priority, and when these parties, like especially your ex-wife, is like causing all this drama, I just don't get it. Like,
that's why I'm fighting.
Why is she not prioritizing your son? You know.
Well, if she won't, I will, and that's you know what.
And then you're putting kids through all these court battles and stuff, and the kids see this, you know.
Right.
Again,
yeah, you gotta, you know, that's the thing.
Who wins at the end?
Sometimes, man, you gotta drop all that shit. Like, here's how I feel about the fight between her and I. I don't give a shit who wins.
Yeah,
I ain't fighting with her. I am fighting for the best interest of the young man that I brought into this world, and that's what I'm gonna do. But the pissing contest between her and I has been nothing but wasted time and no return on investment, and that part is over. And it needed to be a long time ago.
And we got a comment on the thread on Gruntworks that says from Jiong, that says, she goes, "What's the right way to make a good family?" Well, if we knew that answer, we'd be trillionaires because we'd write a book about it. Right.
I promise you, I would not tell you right now. It would cost.
But I always, you know, people don't want to get, you know, when you start talking about religion, okay, people start getting upset, you know, spirituality, that kind of stuff, right? But, you know, like Martin Luther King said when he quoted scripture, that hate begets hate. All right. So if you surround yourself with a bunch of negativity and hate, guess what that kid's going to grow up in? All right. They're going to grow up in hate. They're going to grow up in, you know, that environment. So if you want, no matter what bad things happen, if you surround yourself with positivity, humor, like I always say, humor is always right behind tragedy, right? Like when you surround yourself with that, then the hard times maybe are easier to get over. I don't know, but that's not up to me. That's not that. So that question there, but just remember, if you get negative, if you get loud, if you get angry, which I do a lot, right? All that does is make people loud and angry around you. All right, it doesn't do any.
That's a given.
Yeah, it doesn't do any good. And like I said, we don't have to say praise Jesus, but those guys, that's the guy who said it. Right, like he's like, hey, if you do that, expect that.
I prayed to the gray aliens.
He didn't say hate negates hate. He just said hate begets hate.
Oh, I'm sorry. My Wisconsin accent bothers you.
Yeah.
It's a way to bring that negative.
Linda in the chat.
Way to bring that negativity in, buddy. Way to bring the flow up.
Hey, back to the family stuff. Linda in the chat says, for anybody, Family Wizard is a way of communicating that is monitored by the courts. You can upload pictures and your receipts to show that you've been doing or what you've been doing and what you spend on. You only communicate via that system unless it's an emergency. So I guess that's going out for people who are going through some crazy stuff.
You know what's shitty about that system is that it's in reality, not in reality, but in theory, it's super good system. It's just like, hey, we're doing this. In reality, it turns into a competition to show someone else.
I'm not aware of the system.
You get clickbait on there, so you look like the good time dad on Facebook.
Kind of like what your personal IG profile does. It's all fake happiness, you know. Like, look at me, I'm so happy with my family, and then
it's very easily abusable.
Took 20 minutes to take this picture.
You should have. Sometimes you just have to sit down and have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
All right. Boom. Nice transition. Boom, so Mike's been quiet. He's been waiting his turn.
Yeah, because Mike doesn't have a broken family. Fuck you, Mike.
Yeah, I don't either. but
he's got coffee.
I don't either. So that's why I was just trying to throw some type of thing into there. But and again, you're one step away from disaster everywhere you go. Everybody knows that has been in combat. It just happens. And yeah, marriage and life is combat. Like you got to plan it. You got to do the right things. You got to move where you got to move. You got to put resources where you got to put resources. And when you screw up, like you get punched, right? Like you get punched in the mouth. So, and it's either on my side, your side, doesn't matter. And like what Joe was saying, and Buddy and Dave was saying, was it's the kids, right? Like doesn't matter what you screwed up. Okay. Let's give them a shot. Okay. But anyways, yeah. I was buying some time for Chris to put that thing going across the screen, and he did it. He said it was up the whole time, but it was just a different color. And so now we have it so you can actually read it. So that's good. And it's in yellow. So text that, donate to the Warrior Ride, please do that.
If you give 1 penny per mile, this dude is riding 3,700 miles on a
pedal
bicycle.
bike.
On a bicycle, like a
Why?
bike, like a bicycle.
Well, what you guys haven't mentioned the roads he's going to be traveling on either. There's a caveat to that.
All of them in the United States.
Well, no,
3,700. He's only going about 12 inches on a normal map, so it's not that far. Okay,
yeah. But according to the map, I don't think we have enough gas. We've only gone 2 inches. But no, what I'm saying is that is he not traveling? Is he not traveling on veteran memorial highways?
I mean,
he's at least hitting them at each stop.
Yeah, he's hitting a couple of stops,
but he's not going point A to point B the easy way.
Yeah, exactly. Right. He's going to places where some of his fallen brothers were. The names were named after. The roads were named after him. Yeah, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do everything we can. And then the money's going to the Gold Star families. And then what Mike from Ultimate Sacrifice Foundation, who was on the show, so you can watch a couple of shows ago and then get your feeling for him if you don't understand what you're donating to. He was on the show, so go back a couple episodes and watch that. And if you
Mike was going to get us Colby Covington for the UFC show.
Well, he said he was, but we'll see. Colby Covington's a little bitch. But
no, I'm saying he doesn't know he's going to do it yet, but we're going to make it.
I never lost to him, buddy. Did you lose to him? I never lost to him. Like,
me neither.
Yeah, but no, hey, Mike's on the show, and he's been quiet. He's been patient. we probably should have briefed him before, but that's not how NCOs roll, right? We
Okay.
maybe should have briefed him before. It says, hey, you can come in at any time. It's a dumpster fire. But Mike is here, and before we get into his thing, there's been some issues we've dug up in his record. All right, so we look up in here, and he was enlisted, which we kind of like. Okay,
Hey, good job, Mike.
Yeah, so
Start somewhere.
he wanted to serve his country. He was getting after it, right? And then he went to the dark side. He went green to gold. All right, became an officer, and then it's strange that when I dug into his profile and I started linking into contacts that people that know Mike, I was doing some background stuff. It turns out that, remember in Bakuba, guys, when we were there, Buddy was there. He was doing salsa dancing. But
was actually in Bakuba.
Slam poetry.
Everybody, I cleared.
But remember when we landed at that air base? I think it was like Bob Warrior or whatever. We landed there. Warhorse, yeah. We landed there.
Oh, you don't even know the name of the place.
Well, that's
Okay,
because
cool.
That's because we only stayed there for like
we only
hey,
stayed
buddy,
there for a couple days,
a couple hours,
right?
buddy.
Because we had to go fuck shit up. Right? That's what
I
the
do
Warriors
know
did.
they had a great bread bar in there.
So, but actually,
bread
this will surprise you. This will surprise you, buddy. They had laundry machines there, like Army ones, not KBR. Not KBR. Not like that, like actual like Army laundry machines.
The ones with the washboard and the basin just for water.
I don't know what it was, but I got there and there was an E3 there, right? And I was like, dude, what did you do to screw this up? And he was like, this is my job. And I'm like, what do you mean it's your job? Then he goes, this is my MOS. And I was
love them though.
I was like, what do you mean this is your MOS? He was like,
perambulate.
I do laundry. I was like, shut the fuck up. You can do laundry in the Army as an
and it was
MOS.
amazing.
Right. And he was like, Sergeant. I was like, I
talking about a laundry guy.
Buddy, we can't hear Nick.
I didn't know they existed.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm sorry. I was instantly triggered when the guy that's a MOS holds the skill identifier as a train conductor is talking about people that wash clothes.
Do you realize
he's actually giving the guy kudos because that was fucking awesome. Like we didn't have like running water and shit, so we could bring our green laundry basket our bag there.
Before I was living rent free in Buddy's head by having a super cool MOS that he wished he had. Right. Like
show him how to lock it up. Nick.
So we can bring a psychologist in to explain why Buddy just brought that up. And Buddy wishes he knows how to drive a train. All right, I do. Okay, so like,
but Buddy knows how to fly a plane, though. I think he's got you top on that.
That's the civilian side. That's not an MOS. But either way, we have the guy who was the lieutenant of that guy. So when it turns out that when Mike commissioned to quartermaster, he was in charge of laundry machines. And which is fine because you think about all those briefs that you have, and in the infantry units we don't really get a quartermaster brief from anybody, right? But I could just imagine that says when Mike goes in there to the colonel and goes, "Sir, Lieutenant Klemler here, we got 17 laundry machines operational, and we can pump out 16,000 loads a day, and does that meet your requirements, sir?" Right. So that's what I dug up. That's what I found. All right. But Mike, if you want to explain that to us, that would be awesome. But otherwise, he has an actual real business that he started. All right. Aerial Resupply Coffee. That's what we're really going to talk about. So, Mike, welcome to the Trash Talk Hour, and let's make it happen.
What an introduction right there.
And it's totally okay with saying kiss my ass and then going into the business.
Yes, model. That's fine. That's fine.
Hey, and let me just say, when I transitioned to quartermaster, it was one of those things where it was like, holy shit, like what am I doing? Right? Laundry. Like what is this? Well, laundry, right? But you know what? Hey, that was good. So it's one of those things, man. Everybody needs it. And when you don't have it, then you live in the suck. And so it's like, why not bring the entirety of what we can do wherever we go? It's one of the greatest things that we do about as the military is, pick up and go anywhere and still maintain most of our quality of life, I will say. So it's pretty industrious, pretty incredible. So, but I appreciate, hey, that's okay. Appreciate you guys having me on though. This is awesome.
No, tell us about
everything you got going on, Mike.
Everything you got going on, what spurred it, all that kind of stuff, your service, all that. It's your floor is yours, half hour, more is yours.
So I retired from the Army. I spent the last 14 years of my career as a logistics officer, really, and a lot of it was, I kind of fell in love with that because a lot of what I do is supporting others. And that's like the one main thing that you can learn from being the support side and the combat service support side of the military. I mean, people will complain and they'll say, well, it's all the people with, in the rear with the gear. But what it really is it's how do you, the stress is still, how do you get it from all the way back in the United States to the people who actually need it, who are out there, at, Faber-Stepo and all these other places who are like, I need this stuff now so that I can do what I need to do. And I can't wait on somebody else. And so that's one of the things that I took pride in my career, was making sure that stuff didn't sit, it moved, and we got it to where it needed to be. And that was really, I'd say, my focus and my drive, even through, the last, 10, 14 years of my career after I moved over into, being an officer. And it became one of those things where, moving to the dark side, that's okay. Moving to the dark side put me in the position where I had a lot more ability to make that happen, and a lot more influence to help support and keep people happy. And so I was, happy to do that. Proud of my NCO roots though. I was a Mustang, so I'm okay with that. So I have a little bit of both, right? So it's all good.
And you were airborne?
I was not airborne. No, I'm a leg. It's okay. It's okay.
All right, turn it off, Chris. Turn
That's
it
fine.
off.
Just shut it off.
Just shut it down the show.
Shut it down. Shut it down. No,
Look. Use the bathroom.
Look.
Where did they even come from?
How did I find this guy? It must have been LinkedIn.
That's right. But look, so one of the reasons why logistics is awesome is because of the things that you can do. It's not so much just, hey, I'm going to jump out of an aircraft. I mean, all you guys probably did. I'm sure your niece all tell the story. That's fine. But like,
no, they're facts. They're facts.
Yeah. So, but
he has a pump in his ass.
Yeah. But hey, look, one of the things that logistics do is we can put anything, anywhere, any place.
I'm going to show it, Joe.
Right. Yeah. And so what you get to do,
that's also the 80 seconds motto.
That's right. But guess what?
People.
Guess what? You guys are nothing but commodities when it comes to being delivered. Hey, you are a lawn dart until you stand up and start fighting. And so,
sexy.
Well, that's fine. You could be sexy and
super sexy.
But what we do is, it's also about getting helicopters, getting, C-130, C-17, C-5s anywhere, and putting stuff downrange. And that's cool because, I've been on the back of a Sherpa.
No, Mike, that's badass. No, that's badass, man.
Yeah, but
I hate to be on Mike's side, but I am the product of a logistician, sergeant major. My dad was also a logistician, not a huge.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Really? That's where you went. That's where you went. I'm gonna out of respect for your mother. Out of respect for your mother, I will not say what I want. We will say that. Okay. All right. After the show is going now. But yeah, sorry, go
ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
No. So look, and one of the things that's important to me is continuing to support forward. So when I got out of the Army, I retired and I kind of sat on my hands for a little while, didn't really know what to do. I mean, I got a job, and did my 8 to 5, and then kind of looked at it and said, I have a lot more time on my hands than I used to. And so I wanted to continue to support. And one of the things that spurred me to start my own company and do coffee and everything else, and I'll get into that, is the fact that I was extremely disappointed with the support that I received from the VFW, the American Legion, and just the area and just everything in and around my area, right? And other people may have different experiences. Mine was not very good, right? And so from my perspective, it was, how do I continue to support people? How do I continue to build a community very similar to what you guys are doing? And how do I continue to do that? And what I realized as I got out and was networking and learning everything else is that everything's about coffee for the most part, right? And so coffee is the drink of relationships. It is. I mean, everybody, when you remember things, we consider. Well, you can sit around and crack beers, and that's everything. And you can drink beers, and for all of us here,
where Buddy comes from, Boone's Farms actually starts families.
Partner
Alizé. I mean, you got to throw that out too, right? But,
Hell yeah!
Rest in peace, Tupac.
But I mean, it's one of those things where I looked at it and I said, hey, I want to be on the side of being able to build something more than just be a consumer of the process and be, just another member of something. Like I want to do something with this. And so, I took my logistics background and said, well, the coolest thing I ever did was kick stuff out of the back of an aircraft. So why not use that as the methodology for what my brand is, which is Aerial Resupply. And, it's always about supporting forward, and it's always about making sure I can get it to wherever you guys are. Right. I think it's kind of it's been well received, is what I think. So
talk about that. How do you get the coffee to them? Like, how does that process work? Is it based off of other people buying coffee and then donating it to that, or how does this whole concept work?
Well, until drones come online and I can actually do drone delivery, I'm using the mail, which is the way that yeah. And so, and by the way, once drones come online, that's like my next business plan on how do I continue to do this forward and compete with Amazon. But, like for now, it's, people will go on my website, they'll buy it, or, I'm already on Amazon, I'm on Walmart online, everything's through Facebook and Instagram. Like I'm already working through TikTok.
We need to have an Amazon conversation after the show. It's
yeah,
a little
man,
insider, but maybe we need
to. I got you. And so like, I'm already starting to do all this, and I've only been operational now for 9 months. And one of the things that I will say is like, from the logistics side, it's like, knowing the entire procurement and supply chain back end side of the business has helped me tremendously. What I suck at, and I will openly admit I suck at, is the marketing and sales side. And it's all a one-man show, and that's fine. It's just, I've set myself up and I'm building the foundation so that when I talk about what I'm doing and I'm talking about, how this is impactful to others, like then I can, talk about, what my why is, right? And so I use the phrase that I've been using lately is that coffee is my vehicle. It's not my mission. Like my mission is much larger than just coffee. So anybody can shuck it. And we all know that, there's a bazillion of us out here who are doing, the coffee thing, or trying to find their way in the world and trying to be the next whatever, for me, it's
capitalism, baby.
Hey, for me, it's more than that.
Yeah, fuck you, Dave.
I'm looking much more at like, how do I build some forms of community centers or anything else and try to take on something bigger for all of us to have a place to go and be community. I mean, it's great to do this online and it's great to do this in a Zoom room and whatever, but it's also, and on Veteran Trash Talk, but it's so much better when we're all in person and we're, because that's where real relationships form. And if it does it over coffee, then so much the better.
So Mike, when we talk about coffee, talk about your coffee a little bit. Like what's different about your coffee? Obviously, you talk.
What's your flagship bag that you sell the most of?
It's
just out of
grown
curiosity.
on a tree.
Kind of bean. I want the roast. I want Arabica. Oh no, go ahead.
Talk about some of your brands or what you sell. And
so the number one,
it's Colombian.
My number one coffee is Moab, which is my double caffeinated Robusta.
I love that name too. Yeah.
Coffee, right? And I'll tell you, so let me tell you the story. So when we were blending it, we were figuring it all out. I hadn't had anything to eat that day. About noon, I'm brewing it. I'm getting ready to drink. I drink big mugs. So I have a full 20-ounce tumbler where I was like, all right, I'm gonna drink the whole thing. About half an hour later, I'm like, I want some more. So I pounded it, 20 ounces in half an hour, did it again. My wife calls me about an hour later and could not understand me because I was talking so fast. And she's like,
cocaine.
She's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like,
what else is in your coffee?
Right.
Is there cocaine in it? Because I'm buying it right now.
I love it. It's like the best flavor. If you don't know what Robusta bean coffee is, Robusta bean is it's not Arabica. I hate that. I can't pronounce it all the time, but it's not Arabica coffee.
Arabica?
Arabica. It's not Arabica coffee.
Whoa, Joe with the intelligence.
Coffee. There you go.
Nice. This fucking guy comes out of nowhere. Hey, Mike, you just made Joe's like fucking year.
My GT score said I could do any MLS. I wanted to kill people. No big deal.
And pronounce coffee. Arabica. And pronounce coffee. So there you go.
Arabica.
Yeah.
Arabica.
Put that on my resume.
But Moab is it, man.
It's a shirt.
It's the one I love. My second most popular blend is Spectre, which is my dark roast espresso blend. I base that completely off of the AC 130 gunship from the 60s, only because I think all the AC 130 gunships are awesome. I like that one because it was pretty much the first one, well, second one in the shoot, but it was the one that got the most action, I think, in Vietnam. And so I thought that was a pretty cool throwback, and the fact that it operates in the night, and that, you know, coffee's black. So, and that's my darkest espresso blend. So that's a great one. And then I have Firewatch, which is my 100% Colombian Supremo blend. And that's, you know, that's one of those things where it's like, you know, we've all been on Firewatch. We've all known what it's like to be kicked awake at 2 a.m. to stay awake for 1 hour to then not sleep the rest of the night, because you're not going to sleep for another 2 hours before everything else. And so, you know, it's you know, I'm trying to speak to kind of the experiences that I went through, the experiences that I think other people went through. I'm having a light roast that comes out here pretty soon that I'm calling Lifeline, only because, you know, I think we've all been there where we've seen helicopters come pick people up and take it off. It's not dust off, but, you know, even in the regular world, you see, right, in regular world, even out here, right, you'll see all the time some hiker gets stranded in the mountains and they'll go extract somebody with a, you know, the hoist of life, which is exactly what, you know, it's aerial resupply. It's just in a different form. We're coming to get you instead of kicking something out the door. So it's like, you know,
I like that. I like that brand. I like that name. It makes sense. But here's an idea for you.
Yeah, man.
Oh. So if you probably have to get it. You'll have to get it. You'll have to get it copywritten.
Shout out to 10th Mountain Whiskey. These words are brought by you.
By the bourbon. By the bourbon.
Brought to you by Bourbon, Big Earl.
Brought to you by 10th Mountain.
I do, even though Dave is socialist and hates capitalism, at least he got a drink poured for him and given to him in hand. So that was legit. So
by my ex-wife just now.
Yeah. Perfect. But has there been a brand, and you probably have to call Nike and think about it, but can we get a Serena Williams brand?
Oh, Jesus.
So I went to a barista.
Where does that come from?
Because he's talking about coffee brands.
Whiskey. That's
right. Yeah,
that's where it comes from.
What the fuck are you
I don't know if I can name likeness anything like that.
Right. Strong and black.
I don't know if you.
When I went to Starbucks and I said, "Let me get a Serena
Son
Williams."
of a bitch.
When I went to Serena Williams, I said, "She's my favorite athlete of all time, Joe. You know this. I love Serena Williams." Right. So if you go and ask for a Serena Williams, you're asking for the strongest. Like you're asking for it. Like that. This is it. Right.
Those names at Starbucks, man.
But they don't know that.
And all this shit.
I said to her, I want a Serena Williams, and she gave me just a straight coffee, and I was like, I tipped her $15. I was like, you nailed it, right? So I was like, and she didn't even question me. She just turned around, she got a coffee, and she goes, "Here's your strong black coffee, sir." I was like, you're a legend. So I'm just thinking, area resupply, Serena Williams.
Hey,
I feel like there's a theme to area.
I did the same thing, except I said Kevin Durant, and they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Strong and black, man."
No, he's weak. He's like he's a toothpick.
Have you seen his MVP speech?
He's a toothpick.
Hey, Mike.
Incredible.
Do you just sell coffee, or do you also sell like French presses, like the equipment? Like Italian machine, coffee machines, all that stuff.
Nobody get into that. What are you looking for?
No. At some point, I plan on doing that. Right now, I don't.
Yeah.
And it's.
I wouldn't either, Mike.
Maybe you can steal Clooney away from Nespresso and get him to run. You know.
Let's get into what Buddy was saying here. We're gonna get him out of the closet here.
The reason that I would say that is because there's not just like when you're selling your coffee. There's not only the fact that there like aerial resupply of stuff is a deal, but like the feeling of being in a shitty place where like it's cold or it's wet or it's fucking completely miserable as not the logistician, but as the person who's waiting for that stuff, to get a bag of coffee. And then, I mean, generally you either have a French press of some sort made by Jetboil or something like that, or you've got like an Italian, like, you know, fold up coffee pot, but to put that in, make a cup of coffee and have that first sip of like something warm and like coffee like that didn't come out of an MRE. The taste
and they used to have Folgers in there.
Oh Lord, do you boys remember on Patrol Base also when they would say the log pack is here? Do you guys remember that?
That's a good idea, buddy.
Like,
Yeah.
when they'd be like log packs here, but how good it feels to get to, especially when we were outside the wire in Bakuba, and we would get resupplied, and every once in a while we'd get one that didn't get rat effed. I got little ears around me, rat effed by 5 or 6 different people, and the pack would make it to us on the front lines. Buddy's right. It would be like freaking Christmas. Boys, am I wrong?
Yeah, well, I didn't drink coffee. I just lived off Wild Tiger and
Wild Tiger. Wild Tiger. Dave had an ear that went for 7 days.
So yeah, but the feeling of making a cup of coffee when you're like, for instance, like I legitimately, when I was talking about it, I remember being in Syria and being like, it was fucking windy, shitty, and cold. And some dude, well, it wasn't some dude, it was the captain on the team, pulled out this fucking jet boil French press and made some coffee, and we sat down and had some coffee, and I was just like, okay, life's not that bad.
But see,
like, it's fine.
But see, what you're saying right there is exactly what I'm doing. Why I'm trying.
Yes,
to do.
that's what we're leading that in. We're leading into Mike.
We're leading into that, Mike.
Yeah, go for it. Send it.
We're folding in the cheese. You gotta fold it in.
Yeah. You remember that experience, and it's all based on sitting down in front of with somebody else because of coffee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I can count the amount of times on one hand that I remember hanging out with people and being like cracking a beer with somebody, but there's nothing different. There's something different about coffee in general, based on what we did, right? Like I like sitting in Afghanistan, you know, in the middle of nowhere, trying to do the exact same thing, where you're like, how do I make this coffee even edible or, you know, drinkable, because it's, you know, absolute trash out of an MRE, or, you know, and I'm gonna, you know, I love my cooks. I love the fact that I was a logistics officer and I dealt with them, but you know what? Sometimes what they make, not very good either. It's the exact same thing that they use to lube an M1A2. So it's like, you know, you're not, you know, looking anything great with that, right? Max. But what you're saying though is what I want to get to, which is I want to get to the point where I have an all-in-one kit that can go anywhere, where it's essentially, hey, you know, somebody wants to buy it and send it downrange. I'm already sending coffee downrange. I'm already sending it to the guys who got deployed, the guys and gals who got deployed, thanks to everything in Ukraine, you know, Russia and Ukraine, all the guys who are sitting, you know, in Eastern Europe somewhere in a field. Like I'm already shipping it down that way, but it would be greater. It would be better if what I could do is ship a fully enclosed kit that had exactly what you're talking about, which is here's the coffee, here's the filter, here's how you make it, here's, you know, here's a little piece of home, so that when coffee keeps showing up, they have some way to keep making it wherever they are.
Hope nobody steals this idea after watching the show.
I'm sure
that's not. No, Dave.
Let them steal it, man. The legwork is
let
where
them
the
steal
butter's
it. It's fine.
at.
But
So
like,
yeah, Mike's already got the jump on him.
No, but Mike, who do you need for that? Because we might be able to link you up. Like maybe somebody else will be able to link you up that's watching the show. What do we need for that? Like, how do we get what you just said into operation,
into fruition? Yeah.
Well, the only thing, so like, you know, like there's a bunch of different ways that you can do brewing of coffee, right? So like the easiest way when you're downrange is pour over. Like Chemex, they make, you know, you can go, and I don't know if you know guys what the pour over versions is, but you essentially just boil a bunch of water and then you pour the water over an open filter. It's a slow drip wherever you're at. It does the same thing. Problem is, it doesn't stay warm very long because Chemex, you know, it's, you know, you got a glass receptacle. You can do it in other ways. You can do it in a canteen cup. If they still even exist, but canteens.
They do. I had to turn.
I still got to turn one in.
It'll never be clean. It'll never be clean. CIF will auto reject you every time.
Oh my God.
They gave mine back to me. I was like, yes.
There you go. So, but you know, like, so for me, it's finding the right way. And like, I don't think that shipping glass somewhere is the right way. And so what I'm looking for really is you know, they make camping versions where, you know, it's field expedient. I think that's a way, but what I'm trying to do is minimize packaging. So I have some leads, but if anybody knows, you know, if anybody has a lead on, you know, field expedient type Chemex stuff like REI, I think, you know, even like, you know, Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops, something like that. There are things out there. What I'm looking for is the wholesale version of it so that I can buy in bulk and then start creating these things and start creating the kits. The coffee's done. I have the coffee. I have the filters. I have all that other stuff. It's the rest of it that I'm looking.
Where do you get your coffee? Do you roast it all yourself or what?
Yeah. So
I'm on nuts.
Well, no, I don't, but that's okay. That would,
that was the buddy. That was the buddy. That was that was directed at Buddy.
Fair enough.
So Mike,
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah,
Mike,
so I do.
the biggest check.
So, but what I do is I use a.
Dave, you are a comment Nazi.
So, like, because I'm keeping with the
Well, he's from Germany.
Because I'm keeping with the air theme and everything else, like you have a couple different types of roasting. Like you can roast in a barrel, you can roast in a drum. Like you have like if you've ever walked into like a small micro or like a small batch roastery anywhere in your area or someplace that, you know, they're everywhere, right? You'll see like the big roasting machine that'll be behind everything and they'll crank it out. Well, the one I use is it's an air roaster, air fluid roaster. So the beans never actually touch the surface of the bin. And so they're always in motion. And so they roast that way. And then all I do is just, you know, you takes about 10 minutes and then, you know, you move on. And
do you do this at the house, Mike? Do you have like a facility or what?
Dave, Mike, somebody's on the Grunt Work store that says, where can I get this coffee?
Yeah. So if you go to, my website, so you can go Amazon, you can go to my website, aerialresupplycoffee.com. Really, those are the two easy ways. You can find me on all of the social media. So like I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You know, I'm trying my hands at everything. Y'all can make fun of me for TikTok because, you know, here I am.
Well, we're on that too, man.
Yeah, well, hey,
yeah, we got like 7,000 followers.
Hey, make fun of me. Make fun of me, but you better send it while you're making fun of me. Otherwise, shut up.
I have 50, but that's okay. I'm still learning. And
no, we're gonna mutually support each other, Mike.
Oh, yeah,
we're gonna talk about it after the show.
Yeah. So and you know, you can find me anywhere, but yeah, in terms of I do it all myself, right? It's all done here. So
at your house, do you have a facility?
No, well, wow. Yeah. So the roasting is easy. The shipping is easy. So it's all just get it done. And it's like,
so for any vet, Mike, any vet that's watching is like, you know what? I'm going to start a coffee company. Are there any type of crazy like regulations that you have to go through? Like the coffee does it? I mean,
here we go.
You know, like just making your shit in your
socialism.
Making your shit in your garage, and then you're like, I'm just gonna throw this on Amazon, sell it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just for somebody that's watching a vet entrepreneur.
He's not a moonshiner.
Yeah, Jesus, he's not doing something illegal.
So let me
try to help out the vet community.
No. You have to do a ton of research, right? So like you have to follow your state and local guidelines first, because if you ship anything out of the state and it doesn't meet FDA requirements, then you have some problems, right? Especially with packaging. And then then Amazon won't even let you put something on unless it has all of the retail aspects. I mean, you can get exceptions, but it's a lot easier if you get your own UPC codes and get ready to go retail, which is what I'm doing. So like I've already set myself up. My next big foray that I'm working on is the Army Air Force Exchange Service. They have an e-procurement system that I'm working on getting loaded into, so that you can find aerial resupply through AFES.
Heck yeah, brother.
Trying to find my way out there, man. So it's as a one-man show, it is definitely an interesting and exciting career.
Are you doing this full time right now?
No,
or is this
no. This is so like I basically have two jobs. I have my normal day job, and then I have this, which is the labor of love, right? Like this is what you want to do, so
you're calling,
find time to get it done. And so I've automated a little bit of what I can, and everything else is just spin it and crank it and get it done. And you know, a lot of my career has been in demand planning, so you kind of start learning very quickly of when you have to have everything ready so that it can be, you know, available for when it comes ordered. So like spike ordering, like I'm not very good at that right now because my inventory I keep, you know, is low because I'm, you know, roasting to order. I'm, you know, essentially doing to order. But as I get bigger, this is all going to change. And my goal is to hire veterans and, you know, continue to, you know, keep it insular in-house, and to ultimately become a place where, as vets transition out of the Army, if they want to come work for me for, you know, part of the skill bridge and kind of get their feet wet and everything else.
It's a great program, man.
Learn how to roast coffee, learn how to be part of the commercial world, then I'm all for it. And that's something that I really want to be able to do. I'm just not big enough right now.
That's what's up, man.
No, I've never had to say that
right now. Right now being the key words.
Right now.
Yeah. I've never had to say that in my life, but we're past that. We're okay with it. So,
it's all good.
Anyways,
that was Murphy, Nick, not you. Don't even go there.
Murphy is out of control. All right, so he has literally never even had to. He doesn't even comment when that is made.
Yeah,
so we had a guy. I know Murphy watches the show, but you know, when you watch what was it, that movie Boogie Nights, you know, and they do that screenshot and it's like this. That was Murphy. That was Murphy. Like he was that was legit.
Gifted.
But
I think the word you're looking for is gifted.
Gifted. Well, I mean, maybe
Blessed.
because now you're not. I mean, we're getting like Joe knows where we're going with this. Absolutely nowhere. So like,
go any farther with it. To be honest with you,
exactly.
Yeah, right.
We can talk about it later. We can talk about
a little
Murphy
bit
later
of that discussion.
Yeah, but no, hey Mike. So again, throw the plugs out. Where can we get you? Where do they get Aerial Resupply coffee? All those plugs.
Yeah. So website aerialresupplycoffee.com. You can find me on Amazon, Walmart online, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can find me pretty much, I would say right now my big promotion that I'm doing is it's 20% off Firewatch until the end of the month. My daughter actually made a label because for Christmas, I thought it was the best thing. She came to me and was like, hey, I want to draw something for you. So there's a whole holiday blend called Christmas Kitty, which is dark rum and vanilla and caramel flavor for Columbia Supremo. Awesome. That's available.
Why is the rum gone?
I'm actually running that until the end of tomorrow. So that'll be it comes back every now and then, so it's available till tomorrow. And then right now it's next thing is my shirt, which is Logistics Wins Wars. Nothing gets done.
He's selling shirts. He's selling shirts.
That's right.
How about your shirts?
I think
my shirts.
That's true, but
shirts.
I think as we're all learning here, Russia's learning all about logistics and how it wins wars and
how they
sucking at it.
Russian logistics don't work. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. It wins wars.
All right. So quick
says the ghost of Kiev on this shirt for a reason.
That's right.
Just saying, you can find that at our store.
Yeah. So Dave will cover that later, and here a little quick recap. All right, let's talk about this. All right, now Buddy's shaking his head. Brought to you by 10th Mountain. All right,
vodka or bourbon? What are we drinking tonight?
We're drinking bourbon. We're drinking bourbon today. All right,
Mountain also makes vodka. It's delicious.
Yes, delicious.
By itself.
He mixed it with OJ because he's a bitch. All right, so anyways, you can see the back. Let's cover the first AAR comment. And let's talk about the background for Buddy. All right. So obviously he's somewhere not in Tennessee or Kentucky or wherever the hell he's from.
Into my normal drinks.
Yeah. All right. So he's in Vegas. All right. So if you're in Vegas, go find Buddy. All right. Go find him and punch him in the face. All right. That's
you could try.
Yeah, that's AAR comment number one.
He's a Green Beret. He's a dangerous man.
He is a Green Beret, so be very careful.
Buddy, don't end up on the Con Air flight. Remember, you are a dangerous weapon, and you can be judged different.
Just make sure somebody videotapes the encounter so that we can make some money off of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, go to Vegas, punch Buddy in the face. That's AAR number one. And number two, we have the conspiracy theory of the Bermuda Triangle. We covered that.
The Devil's Triangle.
I don't think that we really need to get into that anymore. It's
the Kraken's playground, if you ask me.
Kraken's playground, right? So it's either rum or whiskey. We really don't know. All right, we got over that. And then the last thing is our guest, the awesome thing. All right. So what we're trying to do with Veteran Trash Talk, which is in line with every guest that we have, is build the veteran community. We are trying to, if you have a question about something, we have the answer. Now, you can go buy Soldier Girl coffee. You can go buy Black Rifle coffee. You can buy Aerial Resupply coffee. Guess what? It's a bean. Okay? Load up your frickin' whatever, pantry, all kinds of stuff with coffee beans because you drink coffee. And guess what?
You mean you can support all of them at once?
Yes, you can.
Well,
Yes. Shocking.
If you're gonna buy coffee and you're gonna buy,
can only stick to one.
coffee,
You gotta buy this
you're a
one.
veteran.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it's pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
Buy coffee from a veteran. That's all we're saying.
Support
your brothers.
Like Buddy and I covered on the 5th principle about nonprofits is the same thing here. Stop getting mad at the people who are trying to do things. Stop hating on that. All right, just buy it. Try it. If you're a veteran and you're not buying Aerial Resupply coffee for like one time, like just try it. You might like it. Right? If Soldier Girls coffee is better, if Black Rifle coffee is better, or do we have some more coffee guys on here? We got who's the guy from the guy that goes to Costa Rica. Yeah, the guy that goes to Costa Rica on freaking Somalia gunboats to get his fucking coffee, right?
Yeah, like insanity.
Yeah, like whatever. It's like, try it, drink it. All right, so go ahead, go to aerialresupply.com and go get that coffee. Just if everybody on our page buys one coffee bag, beans, amount, buddy, go for it.
I don't even know where you're
Don't know what happened. So just buy it.
Okay.
Just get it.
I am not following. Hey, here's the thing. You're right. Go buy some coffee.
Go buy some coffee from him, for Christ's sake. Why not?
You might as well buy it from somebody.
You're gonna go buy a 12-pack of fucking Schlitz tonight. Like who gives a shit?
Schlitz. He says Schlitz.
I'm from Milwaukee. Fuck it. Whatever.
Hashtag support veteran owned, right?
Yeah, support veteran owned. Support veteran owned companies. Hashtag Tech Mountain. Over to you, Dave.
Mike, any last words?
Hey,
before we execute you, Mike, what he meant was you can have the last word.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. Hey,
any last words, Mike?
So, what you guys are talking about is awesome, right? Like support veteran owned. And I think one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is how much companies like me or other companies are buying like this or buying, the packaging or whatever from other veterans. Like it's a chain effect, right? If you buy from me, I'm buying from other veterans. Like that's what I'm doing. Like I'm also looking down the road at where my supply base will come from. It's going to come from other veteran-owned companies. So, just understand that a lot of us are thinking the same way. And so when you buy veteran, you're buying all the way down the pipeline.
Awesome. Agreed.
Hey, do you know Dan Dexter, Mike?
I don't.
No, he's
in the Army.
He's claiming to know you. So
he was in the Army.
He was a logistician. He was on our show too.
He washed clothes as well.
Maybe. I mean,
he ran laundry machines.
Yep.
That's kind of loaded. That's a loaded question.
It is.
Oh, I get what you're doing with the words.
I see what you did there. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I don't know what I was doing there. So,
Spanish for thank you.
Mike, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yeah, I agree. It was awesome.
That was a good time. I like your mission.
Mike, I apologize.
But hey, before
it was a lot of fun having you on.
Before the face man closes us out, stay on, Mike, after the show.
Yeah. So when we cut it out, don't leave. But I do appreciate everything you're doing. And then like looking into the skill bridge later on. So where you're at right now, you want to turn this into an even bigger thing, which I think will definitely benefit the veteran community. So anybody that's watching, we brought up some ideas, some things that Mike's trying to do. Please hit him up so we can execute those plans. For everybody who just tuned in, go to shop.VeteranTrashTalk.com. I got one of my favorite tees on today. Can anybody see this? Free speech extremist. Yeah.
Brought to you by
Tesla right here.
Brought to you by Tesla.
A little tweet. All right. Hopefully Elon Musk buys Twitter. I think that would be great. But I don't know if that's going to happen anymore. But when all that was going on, the shirt was pretty cool.
Real socialist of you, wouldn't it?
Go to gruntworksclothing.com. All right. Some of our other merch. And then go to VeteranTrashTalk.com.
This shirt matches the shades, so this shirt is becoming the uniform, brother.
Show your
shirt. The Ghost of Kiev, bro. You know what it is? It's our air support. Russia. Sorry.
Damn right.
Excuse me.
Go to
I'm on Russia's
VeteranTrashTalk.com. It'll
This is
have
my
links
ass.
to all of our
So is Buddy.
websites.
Buddy's on Russia's side.
I'm just gonna give up because we're all interrupting each other. Love y'all.
Yeah.
Happy Saturday.
Don't
We will not.
get so uptight.
We will not be doing a show next Saturday because we will be doing.
Yeah, we will.
Dude, we will be doing live shows.
We'll be doing a live fucking show. You
on Friday. It's Saturday.
I thought Saturday
I'll be
was
doing
I
I'll be
thought
doing a
Saturday
show
was a
tomorrow morning.
retirement. We need to shut this thing down, Chris. We're all over the place. See y'all next week or in 2 weeks or whatever. Boom.
Next weeker.